A strong bipartisan rebuke of President Biden's vaccine mandate.
But if they're not going to do that, sometimes you've got to do things that are unpopular.
Your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States.
The Senate issued a huge rebuke to President Joe Biden yesterday when they said no to the vaccine mandate. Dr. Fauci said some interesting things that we're going to talk about, and I had some pretty interesting ideas there after talking to some of my liberal friends. Hillary Clinton read her what would have been victory speech. Oh my gosh, this is a great show. All that coming up, all that and more. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. It starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go.
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from a dingy bunker completely cut off from the outside world today. It is December 9th, the year of our Lord 2021, the year when everything is better, but it is not. The Senate yesterday issued a pretty tough rebuke, a bipartisan rebuke. I guess bipartisan meaning 2 Democrats voted for a Republican resolution, which is cool. But Joe Biden faced some defeat yesterday in the Senate. We'll talk about what that was. The Dr. Fauci thing. I talked to some of my liberal friends. I talk to them a lot. And the ideas that they have about the world is interesting. And I want to kind of explain that in the context of what Dr. Fauci said yesterday on an MSNBC show. Also, Hillary Clinton reading her what would have been victory speech. I'm going to do that to you. It's both cringeworthy and awful and hilarious. I'm not sure what we call that, but we're going to play that later on too. But I want to get into this right off the bat. The Senate yesterday issued a tough rebuke of President Biden's vaccine mandate. Just to reset that, September 9th, Joe Biden said, all right, all private businesses have to be mandated. Vaccines have to be mandated. Everyone has to get one. I'm the dictator. You're going to do what I say, said Joe Biden. Then 2 months later, 2 months went by. He didn't do anything about it. All the way into November when they finally set a date. And the date was January 4th. Now everybody, all companies with over 100 employees, I think it affects like 180 million employees in the United States, you have to get vaccinated, says King Joe Biden, the president of the United States. Well, there's been a lot of pushback in the courts, let alone from pretty much everybody outside of your super lefty woke saying that we should mandate things because it makes a lot of sense. Look, we won't even get into or touch all the reasons why the whole mandate thing doesn't make any sense. But what happened in the courts, the last Joe Biden court process that he had has officially been knocked down. I think it's been like 6 or 7 of the the components of this vaccine mandate. All of them have been shot down by federal courts. Obviously, there's an appeals process and all that stuff is continuing to go on. But every single component of Joe Biden's vaccine mandate for private businesses has been shot down. On top of that, yesterday, the Senate voted to rescind the Biden vaccine mandate. We'll kind of explain the logistics of that. But first, I want to get a brief overview from this clip from ABC. Watch this.
Is a strong bipartisan rebuke of President Biden's vaccine mandates. The Senate voting to overturn the rule requiring private businesses to have their employees be vaccinated or tested regularly. Republicans have labeled this a federal overreach and were able to push through this measure with the help of 2 Democratic senators, Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Jon Tester of Montana. Both Democrats breaking from their party, voting to roll back the measure. Manchin insisting the administration should be focused on incentivizing, not penalizing private businesses. But again, this is largely symbolic. The House has no plans to take up this measure, and the White House has made it very clear President Biden would veto it if it lands on his desk. Yeah.
So that is interesting. The way that she's talking about it. Okay, so the way this is worked, let me just read this from CBS so you can understand what's going on. The final tally was 52-48 as Democratic Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Jon Tester of Montana. So again, they're Democrats kind of in name only, dinos a little bit. Joe Manchin is the one holding up the big Build Back Venezuela bill, which thank goodness for him. But obviously Jon Tester of Montana too. Montana businesses not wanting these vaccine mandates to go into place. They joined Republicans in voting in favor of rescinding requirements. Lawmakers, this is where the how this all works comes into play. Lawmakers, through the Congressional Review Act, have the power to overturn federal agency rules within a certain time frame with a simple majority vote in both the House and the Senate. Under the law, if the House and Senate votes to pass a bill, the president may sign it, allowing the rule to be rescinded or veto it. So, the Senate yesterday took the first step in rescinding the law. So the administration, the presidency branch of government, is the one who controls all of the different departments, your OSHA, your CDC, your FDA, all of those different departments. They get to set the rules. The White House gets to set the rules. Congress, though, can decide, we don't like these rules, and overturn/rescind them. That's what the Senate did yesterday. Now the bill is going to the House of Representatives. Now, in the Senate, they had to get 2 Democrat senators to vote for it. So it was 52-48. Joe Manchin, John Tester, both Democrats, but both voted to rescind this bill. Then it goes to the House, and you're probably thinking, this is never going to get brought to the floor. We'll see. There's a possibility with some finagling there that maybe, and this would be probably a bad thing for America as a whole, but as a part of the whole Build Back Venezuela policy in order to convince Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema to vote for that package, Nancy Pelosi may say, hey, if you vote for these amendments of this bill, we'll put this on the floor and see what happens. I think that's unlikely, but it is a possibility. And when it goes to the floor in the House, if it were to go to the floor in the House, it doesn't take many Democrats in the House of Congress to overturn or to vote for this bill. Remember, there were 15 to 20, I forget how many specifically, that voted for the Build Back Venezuela House on the Republican side. Remember, the blurring the lines of the people don't always vote along party lines. And I would imagine there's 10 to 15 pretty moderate Democrats that are worried about losing their seats in some pretty red districts that would vote for it. Yeah, the vaccine mandate thing is going to kill our businesses. They're going to send anybody and everybody after us in the midterms next year. I'm going to vote for it. I would be willing to bet that there is a possibility that the House could peel off some Democrat members to vote to rescind Joe Biden's tyrannical vaccine mandate. We'll see what happens there. Again, Nancy Pelosi has to bring it to the floor, then it has to pass, then it goes to Joe Biden's desk. Now, Joe Biden and the White House has said, yeah, we're going to veto this if it ever gets to our desk. Yeah, okay, so that's what they're saying now. But if both houses of Congress say that, yeah, the vaccine mandate, okay, if both houses of Congress say it's not a good idea, if it's shut down by every single higher federal court, if nobody is for this thing, I would imagine Joe Biden might change his mind just a little bit when it comes to the whole vaccine mandate situation. Speaking of vaccine mandates, I got to get to this. This is a Dr. Fauci clip from the other day. Dr. Fauci is now starting to say all of the things that he's wanted to say, I think, forever, but has never said. Look, a lot of people aren't hearing. One, if Dr. Fauci ever comes on the TV, people just turn it off, and I don't blame them. But you should hear this, and I think other people should hear this too. So if you have the ability, just click the little like button or the little emoji button. If this makes you angry, if it makes you laugh, click that thing. Click the little share button down here, because again, I think more of your friends need to see this, because I don't think a lot of people are fully aware of how some people think. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I talk to my liberal friends a lot about things, and it's interesting the way that they believe a perfect society, if you will, can be structured. And that's clearly how Dr. Fauci thinks. Listen to this nonsense uttered by Comrade Fauci regarding the vaccine mandates. Play this, and we'll have some commentary on the other side.
So I would prefer, and we all would prefer, that people would be voluntarily getting vaccinated. But if they're not going to do that, sometimes you've got to do things that are unpopular, but that clearly supersede individual choices and are directed predominantly at the communal good. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about requirements.
Okay, so that's what he thinks. Dr. Fauci is, again, beginning to say the things that he actually believes that he hasn't said for a long time. What he's saying there is, well, I would like people to do it under their own free will. I would like people to make the choice to do that. But if they're not going to make that conscious choice, maybe we need to do some things that are unpopular, says every dictator on the planet throughout history of time. That's what people do when they want to have some sort of tyrannical power over other people. And here's the thing, Dr. Fauci, and here's the thing that I would say to all of my friends who think like that. What I would say to all my friends who think like this, who think the government can structure a perfect society, or at least do things that it's just better for the whole of people, where does it end? I don't know. Where does it end? If you're going to use the argument, well, this is clearly better for the whole of society, this is clearly better for the public good, where does it end? I think that reading to your young kids every single night is clearly better for the public good. Those kids will be more acclimated to a lot of different ideas and math and science and stories and verbal communication, and parents reading to their young kid is an objective good, not only for those kids, but for the whole of society. I wish parents would read to their kids every single night. But if they don't, maybe we have to do some things that are a little bit unpopular to make that happen. Is that realistic? No, absolutely not. Again, just because it would benefit the public good, and that's up to debate. The whole benefit for the public good is still highly up to debate. The whole idea of you getting the COVID shot and that protecting other people, very heavily disputed, very heavily debated, not even to mention the whole natural immunity component. There are a lot of reasons why the whole this is just good for the whole of society thing is super, super not concrete. But if we were to say that, oh, this is absolutely better for the whole of society, where does it end? Like I said, I think it is a good thing for the whole of society if parents read to their kids every single night. And I think we could probably all agree with that. I hope you do it if you have young kids. I hope you did it if you have older kids. And if you're a future parent, I hope you do it eventually with your young kids. I hope every parent in America reads to their kids and makes the conscious effort and decision to read to their kids. But even though that's good for the public good, is there any way that we should enforce that? No, absolutely not. So again, where does it end? Do you send people into families' homes at the point of the gun and force them to read to their kid? Well, it is in the public interest, Dr. Fauci. Where does it end? In the public interest, maybe we should ban all fast food. There are so many things that I think people should do, but the government shouldn't mandate that they do it. And again, all of this is assuming that it's for the public good, which there's not a lot of great evidence for. So that's that. Let me see if I can get to some comments here. Lots of FJBs. Penny says boom or boo. I'm not sure what she's talking about there. There's let me see. I want to get to this. This is something that I'm going to do to you. This is cringeworthy, but also hilarious. I'm not sure what that ultimately ends up being. But this is Hillary Cringeton. That's my new name for her. Hillary Cringeton. Every time she comes on TV, I just kind of cringe a little bit. But Hillary Cringeton yesterday was on a lot of the different talk shows. I think she was on USA Today or one of those big network shows talking about her masterclass. What is she teaching a masterclass in? I don't have any idea. How to lose presidential elections, how to finagle the charity system in the United States, how to influence peddle. Not sure what she's teaching a masterclass on, but within that masterclass, she read what would have been victory speech. And oh my gosh, it is but also hilarious. So I'm gonna force you to watch some of this, and I don't know. Maybe this is a good idea. Maybe it's a bad idea. But we're gonna do it because I want to. Check this out. This is funny.
And as hard as it might be to imagine, your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States.
Nope.
I am as sure of this as anything I have ever known. America is the greatest country in the world.
No, she's right about that.
And from tonight going forward, together, we will make America even greater than it has ever been for each and every one of us. Thank you. God bless you. And may God bless America.
So that's what Hillary Clinton would have said if she had won the presidency of the United States. And, she didn't win because she was a woman. No, not at all. Because she was a terrible candidate. You think Hillary Clinton got any less votes because she's a woman, or do you think she got more votes because she's a woman? I would bet an unreasonable amount of money that Hillary Clinton got more support because she was a woman. But she didn't win, not because she's a female, not because of any other thing other than the fact she was a terrible candidate. Nobody liked her. She's disingenuous. She doesn't know what she's doing a lot of the time. She makes mistakes constantly. The Clinton Foundation charity is just a big racket of donor money peddling influence around the Beltway in Washington, D.C. There's so many reasons why Hillary Clinton didn't win, none of which I think were because she is a woman. She didn't win because she was a terrible candidate. Anyways, that was the quote-unquote victory speech that she would have given had she beaten Donald Trump in 2016. This is a funny comment from Jason. Don't talk about Hillary or your plane will crash. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that, honestly. I was on TPUSA Live, which is a show over on TPUSA, just on the little panel thing. And they do this game called Who Would You Quarantine With, Jail, or Who Would You Marry, Quarantine With, or Jail? Maybe you know the more derogatory or maybe the more not safe for work terms for that particular game. But anyways, Hillary Clinton came up in that game, and a lot of the people on the couch said I would send Hillary Clinton to jail. No, I would probably marry Hillary Clinton just out of self-preservation. Yeah, Jason, you've got a point there. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about it because maybe some bad things happen. But again, the Clintons don't necessarily. This is all a joke, by the way, in case you're missing that. But the Clintons, again, peddling influence around Washington, D.C. constantly. That was Hillary Clinton's speech if she would have won. Let me see if there's any comments that we can read. A lot of not likes, not like for Hillary. William just says puke. Can't disagree or can't agree with you more there. I want to get to this. This is not super exciting, but it is interesting to see. Los Angeles School District fired nearly 500 people in their school district the other day. Los Angeles School District is LAUSD is the second largest to New York's school district in the country. They fired nearly 500 people yesterday because of the whole vaccine mandate thing. I thought this was interesting. This is, again, interesting in the way people word things. Pay attention to how this is worded and how I think we should all be wording things in the future. I try not to say COVID vaccine. I try to say COVID shot because when you blur the whole vaccine thing, it makes it seem like it's the same thing as all of the other vaccines. Given the numbers and the science behind it and all of the doctor friends that I've talked to, it's more in line with the flu shot, which isn't mandatory and you don't need to get, but is offered every single year. And the flu does kill 60,000 Americans annually. So the flu is a bad thing, but we don't call it the flu vaccine and make it mandatory. So the verbiage that we use matters, and that's what I'm trying to get at here. Listen to this story from one of your probably lefty outlets. Nearly 500 workers were let go in a unanimous board decision for refusing to get the COVID-19 shot. I would choose the word for choosing not to, probably because they have the right to make that choice. And in a lot of instances, they're probably fine. Remember, this thing doesn't kill all that many people from a percentage basis. 99.97% of people survive. especially if you're young and healthy. So refusing to get the vaccine sounds kind of harsh. I would choose the word chose not to, because it probably doesn't matter to them anyway. On Tuesday, the district spokesperson provided an update saying that nearly 99% of employees chose to be vaccinated. Even then, chose to be vaccinated at the point of a employment gun is what it sounds like. But chose to be vaccinated. I don't know about that. Though the district did not say how many classroom teachers. Nonetheless, the nation's second largest school district is facing lawsuits over its mandates, as they should. Remember, the mandates have caused massive court hearings, and none of them have been favorable to the actual mandates itself. If you're just joining us, I want to get back into this. The Senate voting against Joe Biden and his mandates. Let me see if I can find some other stuff. So this is also interesting regarding mandates around the COVID vaccine. You all heard, we've been talking, especially if you've been watching this show, we've been talking about the COVID-19 vaccine mandate in New York City that applies to everybody, according to Bill de Blasio. I don't think that's actually happening. I think he's trying to run for governor, and he knows that mandates pull really well with Democrats, and he wants to be the next Democratic governor of New York. So that's why he's doing that, even though it's super unenforceable. And on top of that, Mayor Bill de Blasio's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for New York City employees, including the NYPD, has been blocked by a Manhattan court. On Tuesday, Judge Frank P. Nervo in the Supreme Court of New York gave notice that the mandate was suspended pending a hearing scheduled for December 14th. So again, pretty much all of the vaccine mandates that are issued by the federal government, by state governments, by anybody other than private businesses pretty much, I think, whether you like it or not, can do their own thing. You can choose to work somewhere else if you'd like. They can choose to hire you, fire you, whatever they want to do. But governments as a whole have been brought down heavily by the courts with the whole vaccine mandate thing. So that, again, not anything new there. There's a couple more stories that I'm trying to figure out if I can get to. The childhood tax program ends this month. Maybe we'll touch more on that tomorrow, but not a ton of exciting stuff going on there. Wow, I want to just start pulling up comments here because I think these are getting funny. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. The more derogatory F Joe Biden. Let's go, Brandon. It is unimaginable how many "Let's go, Brandon" comments there are. Geez, more "Let's go, Brandon." Michael, "Let's go, Brandon." Josh, "Let's go, Brandon." Holy cow. Let's go, Brandon. Wow. Lots of these "Let's go, Brandon." They're either "Let's go, Brandons" or they say a lot of things that I can't say on here because you guys use so many profane words. Do we want to play any of the clips that we played again, replay? Probably not. You know what? This is, let me try this. I'm not prepared to do this, and I kind of want to just bring it on just to see if this works at all. Maybe we won't. There's a Dana White clip. Dana White is the chairman, CEO of the UFC. He went on TMZ, I believe it was Sunday, and said, "Thank you, Dr. Joe Rogan," regarding Dr. Joe Rogan, with the whole vaccine and the COVID thing and the ivermectin thing. That was a kind of funny clip. Maybe we'll hit on that tomorrow. More of a lighter-hearted fare. Maybe we'll touch on that tomorrow. If you stuck around with us, thanks so much for doing so. If you need to listen to any more of the podcast, you can check it out anywhere you listen to podcasts. Rewatch on Facebook, rewatch on YouTube. We'll be back here tomorrow. You know what? Before I go, I gotta throw this out there. See this hilarious T-shirt that I'm wearing? The what? Joe Biden catchphrase T-shirt? Yes, it is hilarious. It's probably the funniest T-shirt that you've ever seen. It is the best. If you order them now, you can still get them in time for Christmas. I know that you know somebody who would want this T-shirt for Christmas. If you go to any of my social media sites, but you can also go to capitalistpropaganda.us. You can order it now, get it in time for Christmas for that special someone that would think this shirt is hilarious. The catchphrase, "What?" from President Joe Biden. Go to capitalistpropaganda.com or .us. Order them today so you can make sure you get them in time for that special someone who would think it's hilarious for Christmas. It also helps us keep going on the show, keeps us doing what we're doing, brings some money in, all that sort of stuff. And also because we can't advertise them on Facebook. Facebook has banned us advertising these shirts. I don't know because, well, I do know. We got an update saying that we can't advertise this shirt because it makes fun of somebody with a mental disability. I'm serious. So help us out. Get on over to capitalspropaganda.us. Buy the shirt for somebody special this Christmas because we're not allowed to advertise it on Facebook via Facebook ads. You can go to capitalspropaganda.us. Get that hilarious shirt. And all of these hilarious shirts, by the way, the Let's Go Brandon, gas prices higher than Hunter Biden, the You're Welcome, Love Capitalism, Corruptifornia, Capitalism Rocks, all that stuff you can get there. You can also head on over to any of my social media accounts, and that's at Jobob, at Jobob, the Jobob Show, anywhere you have social media, you can find me there. Just type in Jobob. Let's have a conversation there. Let's, I don't know, chat it up. Send me stories that you think are pertinent. But yeah, could be fun. Kimberly says, come on, man. Danny says, what? Yeah, Dana says, yay, getting that shirt today. Appreciate it, Dana. Helping us stay on the air, doing what we're doing again. The what? Joe Biden shirt. Love it. Head on over to capitalspropaganda.us or go to any of my social media platforms. You can buy it today for somebody that you love for the Christmas holiday. That's going to do it for us today. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for watching if you stayed with us the whole time. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on a Friday. Fridays are fun. Make sure you tune in Friday. A lot of things happen on Friday because they try to do the media dump on Friday, so nobody talks about it over here. But we're going to talk about it here. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless America.